Hello friends, once again welcome to bispsolutions.com. My name is Amit and today I am going to show you how you can calculate return on asset using dynamic procedure. So before we get into detail how to write the HFM rules in a calculation manager, let's understand exactly what is return on assets. So as per the definition, the return on asset is calculated used to analyze a company ability to generate the profit from its assets. So RoA equals to total net profit divided by average total asset. I've given an alternate definition of this in the second part of my slide, but we'll take this formula and write the same formula into HFM calculation manager and test the outputs as well. So uh, I'm calculating return on asset, periodic asset, YTD, HTD, half year to date, and year to date. The return on asset is written on dynamic procedure and therefore it is on the fly and the output does not store. If you look at the procedure carefully, return on asset is a member of your account dimension. I'm calculating this for periodic. The total net income divided by average asset. And this is the formula. So total net income, because we are calculating for periodic, we would like to multiply this for number of periods, even uh, number of members generation a given period. I show you this in live example to make it easy to understand. Similarly, to calculate YTD, you say total net income multiply by number of period in generation divided by number of views. So the number of hs dot view dot period number work this way. It gets the period number in the view for the data that is being retrieved. The example given over here, if I use periodic, it is always 111. If it is QTD, it calculates for the quarter. So QTD is 1, second quarter is also second, sorry, for 1111. The scope of this for given quarter, the calculation takes place only one quarter. If it is half year to date, it is 1 and this is second quarter of the given half year, right? First quarter of the second half year and second quarter of the second half year. If I use YTD, it increment by first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. So scope is determined depends upon this periodic, QTD, half year date, and YTD. Let's see how it works exactly. So I'll take you directly to my app, HFM application and show you how it works. I log into my application and I already written this expression in my calculation manager. I open this application and in addition to this I also open my calculation manager. I have already written the expression into my calculation manager script under dynamic calc procedure. So in order to save time, it's already there. I just have to put there and validate. Calculation manager, when you open it first time, it's a little slow, so it takes a couple of more seconds. I have got HFM, planning, and space all three configured. This is the name of my application. My procedure is dynamic. It's a custom defined script, so I right click and I created new script over here. You can see the script. I can right click, open, and show you the script. This is opening and closing parenthesis of dynamic. It will calculate on the fly. So first we'll calculate your return on asset periodic. I'll copy this expression, put it in a notepad. So when we apply test, we should be able to understand what is what. Let's first test how RoA gets calculated. So according to the formula, it's net income divided by average asset. Okay, because I want in terms of percentage, I multiply by 100. Okay. So after you create a script, uh, you know, you validate the script, save and validate. Make sure it does not have any syntactical error. It passed. After you write script, You can create a new rule, right click, create new rule, and simple drag and drop your script. Name your rule, and I open an existing rule over here. Drag and drop your script over here between your begin and end. Just simple drag and drop the script you have written, right? Now after you add script, you can also toggle between design view and edit view. You can see the scripting return. It turns out to be all you visualize turns out to be scripting. Then the next step, you use this rule under your rule editor. So I'm sorry, you put this under rule set. You right click and open new rule set, and in rule set is just a collection of rules. When you want to ensure your rule should be executed in certain order, you put them under your rule set. So I put them under rule set, and then I finally validate my entire rule set and ensure it does not have any syntactical error. It doesn't have any syntax error. And once you return your script, right click and validate your all rules. At parent level or application level, I click and validate my entire application. So none of my rule has any syntax error. And then you can toggle from system view to deployment view. So under application, you find there are two folders, deployed and to be deployed. Once you deploy your procedure, it turns out to be moved from to be deployed to deployed. So in dynamic, had I modified the expression, would have turned out to be modify. I right click, validate, individual, and right click and deploy. Right click and deploy. So once you deploy from to be deployed, it turns out to be successfully deployed. To be deployed turns out to be under deployed folder. You right click and refresh. Right, it deployed and timestamp is 19 January 2016. So you script got deployed. Now let's test this. In order to make it very simple to understand, I already created a data form where you see all elements. So what is your input element? Your net income is one of your input element, right? So in my while designing interface, I keep track of this. Your net income is your input element, and the value is 200. Then hs.period.numgen. If I look in the context of my quarter one is like year, half year, and you have got quarter one. Then similarly you have got months and so on. You have quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four. So actually numgen will return 4 because there are 4 quarters in a given year, right? So and total asset, periodic asset, I input value over here to make it easy to calculate. I made it user input, which is 1000, right? So when I multiply this 200, when I put this value into my expression, 200 into 4 equals to 800, divide by 1000 equals to 0.8, multiply by 100, become 80. Okay, so you see the output over here, RoA calculated at 80%. So this expression is passed because it's dynamic. The moment you modify the value, the moment you modify the numbers, calculation will take place automatically. Okay, I need to log off and log in because I modify my rule. I need to close and open my application again. So as I said, it's a dynamic. So the moment you modify the numbers, RoA will recalculate automatically. See, I put the numbers and write back. It got recalculated now. So the expression new value is got your asset P become 2000, right? So 800 divided by 2000 becomes 0.4 to 40%, right? It's a beauty of dynamic. Let's take a second part of this. As I calculate for periodic, we could calculate for QTD, half year, and YTD as well. Let's take QTD expression. So my QTD expression is, let me copy from here. Under dynamic rule, turns out to be system view once again. I open my script and copy my QTD view. This is my expression. Now let's test this, it is correct or not. So I put the expression over here and put all the values. Net income, it's continued to be 200. Number of period in generation, I'm looking at the quarter, therefore there are 4 quarters in a given year. hs.view.period is going to, period number is going to return 1 in this example. It is going to return 1. QI asset Q also make it 2000. hs.view.period number is going to return 1 because it's the first quarter. I'm calculating for quarter. And if you go back and check um, your table for quarter 1, it returned 1, isn't it, for QTD? Therefore it is going to be 1, right? Now after you make it, it's 1. Your A asset Q is 2000. A asset Q is 2000 and multiply by 100. So let's take this, put this number is 200 into 4 equals to 800, divided by 1, it's remain 800, divide by 2000, becomes 0.2, 0.4, multiply by 100, it's a 40%, and therefore QTD ROA is 40%. In a similar fashion, you can calculate for asset for half year and for asset whole year, ROA for periodic, QTD, HTD, and YTD. Right, so that's it for today. Uh, you can subscribe to a YouTube channel to access more than 1000 videos about different aspects of Hyperion. Should you have any training and consulting requirement, please feel free to write to us. Our site is bispsolutions.com. Thank you and have a great day ahead.